What's going on, everyone? It's the Niskel. Welcome back to Danganronpa 2. In the last episode, we finished up our investigation, and now it's time to find out who done it in the class trial. For those of you participating in the secondary trial game, the link is in the description for the separate video where you can post your discussions. That video will disappear after 2.5 hours after this video is posted. So be sure to get in what you want to say. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until tomorrow to continue the discussion. For those of you not playing in the game, or if you came here too late, welcome to the episode. Let's talk trial and pre-court prep. First off, you might be thinking, well, what skills do we have? We don't have any. That's one of the big differences between Danganronpa 1 and 2, and I believe I've already mentioned this. You do not actually unlock skills via social link anymore. You now can buy them. If you go into your e-handbook and go down to your report card, you'll see the hope fragments you already have. We have one from everybody, from the introductions we had, and then the social links we actually hung out with. And if you want to buy skills, you need to go to Monami, or Usami, excuse me. And here, you can see I have 19 hope fragments to use to buy all these different skills. So let's take a look at what we have. Attentive influence. I'm only going to go for specific ones. I'm not going to max out. I'm not going to spend all my hope fragments, if you follow me. I might just buy a couple skills just to make sure I'm not too overpowered for this trial. Influence gauge, affected during class trial. Okay, we don't need that. Extraordinary focus. Focus gauge. Now, mainly things that have to do with focus and other abilities that I don't normally use, I'll skip out on those. This one is fantastic, though. Lost in Thought. This increases the time limit during non-stop debates during everything. So we're definitely going to get this one. Next, let's see. Influence gauge recovery. I don't think we'll be ever needing this, since I hope to go through these entire trials without getting anything wrong. Here we go. Cool and composed. Steadies your aim. For those of you who haven't played a Danganronpa game, you'll see exactly what that means. Actually, we're going to use that. Let me make sure there isn't anything that counteracts that. It said it goes, you cannot use it with tranquility, and I don't think we have that, so how about Trigger Happy? Decreases delay between firing truth bullets. This is fantastic for the non-stop debates and Rebuttal Showdown. Well, what is that second thing, if you haven't played this game before? You'll see. We're definitely going to get Trigger Happy. And Cool and Composed. Yeah, let's go for that too. It steadies our aim. I've got 5 hope fragments left. We're going to leave it at that. Let's go ahead and set our skills. We have 21 skill points. Gonna set everything. Cool and Composed, Lost in Thought, and Trigger Happy. We're good to go. Byakuya Togami was killed. We now have to figure out who killed him. And why, and how. This is the best part of any of these games. Let's get to it!
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island.
Such a cruel rule.
Yeah, no kidding.
Before we begin, I'd like to confirm one thing. Is there really a killer among us?
Most definitely. There's no doubt that the blackened is lurking among you. Such a sad state of affairs, isn't it?
Unfortunately, Nagito, according to Monokuma, somebody actually did kill Byakuya. It was no accident.
By the way, this class trial is gonna be 100% fair, so there's no need to worry.
Sorry, that was just funny to me. Okay.
I'm the type who hates favoritism and prejudice. Well, not as much as I hate Monami, of course.
You hate me that much?
Oh, yeah.
Now, let's begin!
You're telling us to begin, but what are we supposed to do?
No complaining, let's just settle this with our fists.
There's gotta be another way.
Were you even listening to the rules?
Didn't that Byakuya bastard get killed in the dining hall, huh? Then everyone there is a fucking suspect.
Yeah, what you're really trying to say is that you're not the killer, right?
No shit. You guys went off on your own and started killing each other. This has nothing to do with me.
Huh? What does that mean?
Anyway, why don't we try talking about the most pressing issue on our minds?
The most pressing issue on our minds?
Where we found the body. It's very strange to find a body underneath a table.
Yeah, I agree.
Then, let's start with that mystery.
Solve one mystery at a time. I like it. Byakuya's body was found underneath a table. He wasn't even close to the place where his body was found. Well, Hajime, one mystery at a time. Everything will eventually become truth. Best not to think about what happens if we can't solve it. Right. No need to panic. Alright, Hajime, let's do this. And, I mentioned earlier in this Let's Play that, all the actors, it's a star-studded cast. The trials are where they get to open up and have fun with their parts. Let's have fun with them. Tutorial time! You've been providing tutorials the entire time! Fine, just as long as you admit that you're being rude. Basically, this tutorial is going to go through non-stop debates, and what those are is everybody will have something to say, and it'll go along a very long line of a thought process. So, basically, everybody's going to be throwing statements back and forth. This is going to be a big, long discussion. And what you need to do is find contradictions using truth bullets. So all those bullets we collected during our investigation, we need to fire those at lies. And that brings me to how this part of the game is played. During the non-stop debates, you will see all the statements show up on screen. It is your job as the player to move your reticle onto the statements that you think is a contradiction and fire at it. This is a weird game. You're shooting words at other words. That's the only way to find the truth. Every non-stop debate, you will get a specific number of truth bullets that you can use. Since this is the first trial, they're going to go easy on us. You press the triangle button to fire. You're going to move the reticle with the left stick. But a lot of the times, when you start getting multiple truth bullets, you'll notice there's a lot more red herrings than you originally thought in this game. And don't bother using the touchscreen stuff, especially if you got a PlayStation TV. You can't do it. Pay attention to what everyone says, read your truth bullets carefully, and contradict things. Automatically run out of time? I don't think that's going to happen, because if this is like the last game, we have plenty of time. There's not much to control. Why would you tell us how to look at the controls? Good luck and have fun. I plan to. Let's go.
Why was Byakuya's body in a place like that?
His body was underneath the table at the very back of the dining hall.
After the killer murdered Byakuya, they probably moved the body there.
Huh? Why?
Obviously by hiding the body. They tried to delay its discovery! Like a dog burying a bone!
Did you happen to notice one of the statements came up yellow? That is an example of a statement that we can shoot truth bullets at. Now, as I said, it's the first trial. So they're not going to go, like, all super hard on you. There is only one statement we can fire at, but they gave us 3 truth bullets to choose from. So now we actually have to pay attention to what people are saying. But based on what we've seen, I think this truth bullet is more than good enough.
No, that's wrong.
No, I don't think the killer moved the body.
Huh? Why?
Try to remember what the body looked like when we found it under the table. Though there was a lot of blood everywhere, there was no sign the killer actually dragged the body through it.
So that's why you think it's impossible that the killer moved the body. I see. I get your point.
It would also be very difficult to move that much man in a short amount of time.
Oh, and here I thought I had a genius idea.
Only you, Kazuichi. You were the only one that thought that.
Too bad you're so stupid and boring and unpopular. Your life is meaningless.
Hiyoko, that's not nice.
I respond better to praise, you know.
Everybody does.
But if the killer didn't move the body, why was it under the table?
That's the real mystery.
Byakuya was probably killed under the table.
That's what I was thinking.
What? You think he was killed under the table?
So Byakuya snuck under the table for reasons unknown, and that's when he was killed. Then, shortly thereafter, we found his body under the table.
That does make sense, but why did he go under the table?
Obviously, he was hiding so he could surprise us. That dude was always a big jokester.
Were we talking about the same dude?
The hell he was? You seriously couldn't tell what kind of person he was?
Maybe he panicked during the blackout and dove under the table.
It's a blackout, not an earthquake. Just because the power went out doesn't mean he dive under the table.
The reason why is probably connected to what Byakuya was doing during the party, don't you think?
Interesting. Nagito, you seem to know a lot. The only reason Byakuya was truly there was to ensure that everybody was safe. We also found something underneath the table that matches why he would dive under there.
I can prove it with this! It probably has something to do with the knife we found under the table.
Knife? Oh, you mean that thing that obviously screams, "I am the murder weapon!"
And loud and clear it did scream.
Byakuya probably noticed the knife was hidden there. So in order to get it, he moved under the table.
He was particularly sensitive to the presence of dangerous items, so I cannot deny that possibility.
He took every single precaution, including removing things that could not be used as a weapon originally.
But how did he notice that there was a knife under the table?
Here's the fun part.
If he knew beforehand, he probably would have done something about it before the blackout, right?
Exactly.
Then, instead of knowing about it beforehand, maybe he saw it right at that moment. Like, for example, he might have seen someone trying to take the knife out from under the table.
No, that's not possible.
What? You seem rather confident about that.
Of course. I have proof to back me up.
Really?
This is almost like a real trial!
It's slowly getting there. Correct, tutorial. You win easy on us. Yeah, so as we go further on into the game, they're going to make it more confusing by adding multiple weak spots that are complete red herrings. You don't even have to worry about them. What you need to focus on is what doesn't sound right comparing to what you have in your truth cylinder. So if you see something that makes absolutely no sense that somebody is saying, and you have the truth bullet to back it up, that's the right answer. Yeah, false weak spots. Safe to say, don't shoot the fake ones, you'll lose health. And you probably know what happens when you lose all your health in a class trial. Yeah, kinda die. Yeah, your influence gauge is your health bar. Alright, everybody, let's use our logic. Let's find contradictions. I love this part. The concentration meter. Something I never use, but just in case you need it, if you hold down the R button, you can actually slow down everything. Of course, when you use that, your concentration gauge goes down, and as soon as it runs out, everything goes back to normal speed. This is mainly for people who are having trouble aiming. Just watch that focus gauge and you'll be fine. I love having fun, game. Let's do it again.
I'm sure Byakuya ducked under the table during the blackout.
That sounds correct. If that's the case... During the blackout, Mr. Ham Hands must have seen the killer take the knife.
But it was super pitch black! It was so dark I couldn't see my food!
Byakuya couldn't see in the dark either. I doubt he could have seen the killer.
Now, as you notice, there were a lot more false weak spots. Some of them, you could just tell nothing is going to come from those being shot.
I'm sure
There were
Byakuya
also
ducked under the table.
5 truth
During
bullets
the
that they gave you for this. They definitely upped the ante from the first game, because all of these truth bullets that we're going through, and if you hold down the L button, you can actually see all your options and flip through them. But there was only one weak spot that made sense, and only one truth bullet that could go with it.
It was so dark I couldn't see my food!
Byakuya couldn't see in the dark either.
Are you sure about that?
No, that's wrong.
I think he could. He was found with a particular something in his hand.
No, Byakuya was probably the only one who was able to see in the dark.
Why do you say that?
If he was using those night vision goggles we found under the table, he could have seen what was happening.
So, are you saying Byakuya was the one who used those night vision goggles?
It's probably why they were so close on his person.
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Your reasoning is out of focus.
No, that's obviously wrong. It should be the other way around.
Other way around?
Seriously? The killer used those night vision goggles, not Byakuya.
Ooh, yes! We now have a brand new option in our class trials. We get rebuttals. People who do not agree with your assertion and they butt right into your thought process. Oh, tutorial, stop messing with my emotions. This is a rebuttal showdown. Basically, if somebody doesn't like your statement, they are going to make their voice heard. They're going to interrupt the thought process and try to throw their idea at you. And what we need to do is kind of a very somewhat stressful minigame. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to use our statements to fight the person back. And then we need to throw the truth in their face. We need to use the directional buttons or literally swipe across the screen to move their statement back. Basically, we're going to be slashing their statements in half. We're going to cut through those remarks of theirs. It is the weirdest thing. You'll definitely see it. It does get a lot more difficult. Trust me, it does. Because these statements are going to go in all sorts of different angles. What you don't want to do is have them take over your conversation. That's a bad thing. You will lose health for that. I should actually pay attention to this one. don't get slash happy, whatever you do. If you run out of slashes, you're going to lose that part of the debate, and you're going to lose health. Oh, that's harsh. Forgot about that. Maybe we can change Mahiru's mind with this rebuttal showdown. This'll give us more ideas. I like this. So if you throw more thoughts into their face to try to tone down their rebuttal, it might bring up more conversation. That's what I like about this. That's another thing. They will show more weak spots that you can shoot at or slash at. Oh, but I want to cut them. Yeah, you don't want to slash the correct statements. You want to actually shoot those. So, to recap, you need to bring the conversation back to your side, and then when you see something that doesn't make sense, shoot it with a truth bullet. Yes, I will argue with my fingers. Yeah, just like regular truth bullets, they are going to give you multiple choices to choose from. You gotta choose the right one. What's a truth blade? Well, I think I just explained it. I didn't get the memo! Yeah, just as I said. I'm allowing the tutorial to have a little bit of fun with this. They will be talking a lot. I feel the change. Here we go.
If you just use common sense, the killer obviously used those knives. That's gotta be it.
Where's your proof that the killer used them?
Because if they use night vision goggles, then they could have killed Byakuya even in the dark. I mean, in reality, so those goggles were planted and the killer brought them to the crime scene.
Nope! Damn it! Ah, crap. I knew that was going to happen. Since we brought the conversation over to our side, we need to watch out for the one statement that we can actually slash. So I need to be more careful. There's only one weak spot here, and I actually am using the touchscreen. So let's see if I can do this again.
Because if they use night vision goggles, then they could have killed Byakuya even in the dark. I mean, in reality, that's what... So those goggles were planned in advance. The killer brought them to the crime scene.
There it is!
Allow me to cut through those words!
Ooh, I hate doing those, but it is fun to see.